Do you smell burning or have unusual transmission problems like gear slippage or a vibrating clutch pedal? There could be a worn-out flywheel at fault. Let's discuss the typical signs of a malfunctioning flywheel and the associated costs of having it replaced. It's Max the Car Guy. Subscribe and let's get started. Gear slipping. When shifting gears while driving, this often results in the gears slipping. This usually occurs when trying to shift into a higher gear, for instance, from third to fourth. The engine revs, but it is evident that no power is getting to the wheels. Higher gears and prolonged application of the accelerator pedal cause it to occur more frequently. This is frequently a direct result of a worn-out clutch. The flywheel will eventually wear down as well if the clutch is allowed to slip. In the event that you ignore it, the gear slippage will only worsen. The pressure plate may begin to grind, and eventually the flywheel and other components of the clutch assembly will overheat, warping or even cracking. Finally, you won't be able to shift at all if the clutch and flywheel are not changed. The common causes of a worn-out flywheel or clutch include riding the clutch pedal while driving, gradually engaging or disengaging the clutch while your foot is on the gas pedal, and abruptly disengaging the clutch while operating a vehicle at a high rev limit. Slipping gears can be indicated by a soft clutch pedal or a slight delay in the clutch engaging. Clutch chatter. This happens when the clutch skips along the flywheel as opposed to engaging smoothly. When the clutch is released, it catches and releases repeatedly, giving the impression of stuttering or vibrating. Although it can occur in any gear, it usually occurs when you stop completely. Clutch chatter can have a variety of causes, including a warped flywheel, but it can be challenging to identify the cause because the clutch disc, pressure plate, or release bearing are frequently to blame. These components can also be worn, warped, broken, or contaminated with oil from an oil leak in the engine or transmission. Clutch pedal vibrates. Every time you engage the clutch on your car, vibrations will also originate from the clutch pedal or the floor. These vibrations are a sign of faulty spring mounts on the flywheel. As you may be aware, the vibrations produced by the clutch when it is in use are typically lessened by the spring mechanism. This is just additional evidence that your flywheel needs to be replaced because it is broken. Clutch drag. This contrasts with a clutch that slips. The clutch just won't release all the way, as opposed to not engaging. When shifting gears, you may encounter varying degrees of gear grinding or even the inability to shift the car into first gear when it is at a complete stop. The bearing or bushing in the flywheel or crankshaft assembly causes clutch drag, not the flywheel itself. Burning smell. Not only will there be gear slippage, but the inside of the car will smell like burning. This smell comes from using the clutch incorrectly, which can be caused by an inexperienced driver or a malfunctioning flywheel. The materials used in clutch facings are designed to lessen the noise the clutch produces when it operates. Because of friction from incorrect use, the clutch facings generate a lot of heat, which effectively causes the surface to glaze over. The end effect is an overpowering, sharp, and unpleasant stench that can be easily detected. We've already covered the most typical signs of a malfunctioning flywheel. Other symptoms might also exist, but they are more difficult to identify because there are other potential causes. Identifying the signs of a malfunctioning flywheel is simple because they are nearly universal, regardless of the kind of manual transmission car you drive. If you see any of these symptoms occurring, it is best for you to take your car to a qualified automotive technician. Replacement cost. A flywheel's replacement cost can vary greatly. Some flywheels are less than $50, while others can cost up to $400 or more. It all depends on the kind of vehicle you drive, the flywheel's durability, and whether the part is an aftermarket or exact OEM replacement. Replacement of the clutch or release bearings may also be required. Naturally, you also need to account for the labor costs involved in performing the replacement work. Considering that the majority of auto mechanics bill between $90 and $110 per hour, the cost of labor alone may approach $500. This is because it is more difficult for mechanics to remove and replace the flywheel because it is attached to the crankshaft of an engine. You'll pay more money because this will take more time. You may expect to pay, on average, between $550 and $1,000 in total. It would be preferable to use this option rather than paying for labor if you are an experienced mechanic who knows how to replace a flywheel or clutch, or if you have a friend who does. In this way, you'll save a ton of money. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.